All right. Good afternoon. My name is Tiffany Williams for Worcester Daily News, and I'm here today with Joe Snell, Jay from Boca Raton, Florida, who will be fighting this week in the New England's Future 7 match. Um, also joining me is Derek, his trainer, and joining us is Chuck Sherm, who everybody from Worcester County should know. So let's get right to it. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
First
Yeah,
of all,
no problem.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
awesome. Um, Jay, how did you get started in boxing? What motivated you or inspired you to get into this?
Oh well, when I was a kid, I used to always like
Oh
get into
well,
trouble,
when I
get
was a
into
kid, I
fights and
used to
stuff like
always
that.
get into trouble, get into fights and stuff
So
like that.
eventually, I was
So
I was also in a foster home.
eventually, I was
So
also in a
like
foster
I
home.
just had a lot of anger, so I just wanted to
So like
release it,
I just
and then
had
I
a
just
lot
went
of
to the
anger,
gym
so I
because
just
one of my
wanted to
cousins'
release it. And then I just went to
boyfriend
the gym
at the
because one of my
time
cousins'
he boxed,
boyfriend at the time
and he
he
wanted me
he
to
boxed,
come. So I
and he
went,
wanted me
and
to come.
then I liked it, and
So
then
I
I
went,
just
and
at
then I
first I
liked it.
wasn't really
And then
too
I just
sure, but I was just
at
like,
first I
eh,
wasn't really too
whatever,
sure,
I'll
but
get
I
a
was just
workout
like,
in. And then
whatever, I'll
after
get
a
a
little
workout
while, I
in. And
wanted to
then
compete. I was like, you know
after a little
what,
while, I
I'm gonna
wanted to
compete.
compete. I
And
was
then
like, you know
ever
what,
since
I'm
that,
gonna
I just
compete.
kept
And then
fighting.
ever since that, I just kept fighting.
All right. Um, so, how did you feel the first time you got into fighting? I mean, the excitement of it, the adrenaline rush. What was it like when you first got in the ring?
It was pretty good, honestly. When I first started training, and then I
It was pretty
sparred,
good, honestly, when I first
like
started training.
I
And
felt
then
better when I sparred, but like
I
when
felt
you go
better
fight, it was
when I
different.
sparred, but like
So my
go
first fight,
fight, it was different.
it was
So
like
my first fight, it
a
was
lot of nerves, and then like
it was
I
like
saw the crowd and
a
all
lot
that.
of nerves,
Crowd
and
got to
then
me,
like
but
I
then
saw the crowd and all that.
I like eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm here to
I like
fight, so
eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm here to
I'm
fight.
just gonna
So
fight it out.
I'm just gonna fight
And
it
then
out.
ever since, I mean, the
And then
first
ever
fight I
since,
lost. I
I
lost my
mean, the
first
first fight I
amateur fight,
lost. I lost the first fight.
but then after that, I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
not losing like
But then
that no
after
more.
that, I'm like, I'm not
And then
losing
I
like
just
that
kept
anymore.
winning ever since. And then I just
And then I just
kept
kept
pushing.
winning ever
Like,
since. And then I
just
kept
always loved
pushing.
the
Like
sport. I
just
like to
always loved
compete,
the
so I
sport.
just
I like to
that's
compete,
my
so
thing.
that's that's my thing.
Nice. Are you excited to be on the New England's Future 7 and about the added interest and publicity and attention that comes with this?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I never like fought on that card
Yeah, I'm
or
very
like
excited.
any. I know
I
they
never
haven't had
like
like
fought on that
amateur fight
card,
there or
or
anything,
I
but
know they haven't had like
I've been
amateur
to
fight there or
the
anything.
show before, and
But
I've seen
I've been to
how big
the
is the
show
show,
before, and I've
and
seen how
I want to show
big is the
like
show,
everybody my
and
talent for that,
I want to
so they
show
could
like
see
everybody my
that
talent
I'm
for
next.
that,
You know what I mean?
so they could see that I'm next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, Chuck, if I can bring you in for a second, maybe you can speak on a little bit about the match that between Eric and Mr. Castro.
Sure. Yeah, he's going to be fighting. Excuse me, Anthony Everett, who is actually from Lawrence, where Josh Nail grew up. Doesn't have a great record, but he's been in with some good fighters, and he's able to compete with them. So he's going to give us some resistance. Um, so I think it's going to be a good fight, but Jay's going to come out on top, no problem.
Yeah. Um, Jay, how excited were you when you got that call? What was it like?
Excited.
That phone call to hear, hey,
Excited.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, no, keep going.
Yeah, no, keep going.
No, I said, how excited were you when you got that call? You're let's talk about your record too. You're 3-0, two knockouts, four-time Golden Gloves champion.
Yeah,
In your weight class.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so what does a fight like this mean to you?
A fight like this means a lot because like I have a lot of like I'm not from Worcester, but I know a few people, and then like I'm from Massachusetts, like Lawrence. And I got a lot of people that could come and support because it's not too far. So it means a lot because I get to perform in front of my fans and all my family and all that. So like it's gonna be big.
Yeah. Derek, can you maybe we can bring you in here, talk about Mr. Castro's skills in the ring, and what is his opponent got to be worried about?
Well, Josh Snell walked into our camp a couple months ago. He was looking for, a new team to train with, and it worked out well. He came in. I worked him on the mitts a little bit. Saw that he had some skill, and more importantly, at the end of the day, the test was the sparring. And when I saw, there was little things that I saw that I liked. I saw things that I can work with and develop. And then Chuck and I spoke. And it's been and here we are. It's been a pleasure working with both of them so far, and hopefully we can develop this young man's career and keep him on a positive track.
Tell me a little bit about, and those listening, a little bit about your gym and your team down there in Boca Raton, Florida.
Well, I've been working in boxing for about 20 years. I was an amateur fighter myself, and then I also, worked as head coach of amateur city teams, PALs, and I work into the pros. I've been fortunate to work with several world champions teams. Right now, I've been there, done that, all the channels, all the big fights, and we have a really good young crew of fighters in now, and Josh Nail's one of them, along with some other veterans, Chris Algieri, Sullivan Barrera, um, Marine Shea, who was a two-time world champion. I have several other fighters. Peter Belfort, who's now going to be fighting Oscar De La Hoya. The biggest thing about it is we got a good crew, big crew of fighters. Like I said, along with Just Nail, I got two other kids that are going to turn pro. Daniel Figueroa, who's going to be a very good talent. Dominique Francis, another undefeated fighter, who's going to be a very good talent. And Just Nail fits right in to that crew. Young guys with a lot of potential and grit. I'm very happy with their attitude. I spoke to Just Nail the same way I spoke to all of them. I sort of kind of interviewed them. I'm here for their betterment. And if they do well, we all do well. And I'm not here for the egos. I'm here for we're all going to support and pull for each other to do better, and make all the decisions as a team. I try to be very accessible to all my fighters, and I think it's worked very well over the years, both with veterans and young professionals like Josh Nail. So I have a lot of hope and expectation for him, and I've seen in the short time that we've worked, I've seen already quite a bit of improvement. He already had the heart and grit. I could see that right off the bat. The technical skill keeps improving. The ring IQ will be developing as we go along these fights, as Chuck and I continue to move him. And the other rest of it is up to him. Just like I tell the rest of the fighters, it's how much they focus and how much they put in there. And I really think he has a very good trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Josh Nail, let's talk about the discipline that goes into being a fighter, and what is it? What type of discipline do you have?
it's a lot of work. Like you gotta eat right. You gotta always work out. Like, well, me, I try to work out like 2 or 3 times a day. So like, it's a lot of work now. You can't really party. You can't really do none of that stuff. You know what I mean? You gotta be focused. You know, just focus on your task. Focus on your goal. If you ain't got discipline, then you ain't really gonna go too far. You know.
It has to be a lifestyle, in and out of the ring.
Yeah.
If you can't, Chris Algieri always talks about championship lifestyle, and basically that's what it is. There's a lot of good fighters, and sometimes what separates the great ones from the good ones is how they live that life, not only in the gym but outside of the gym. And that's the message that we try to pass on to these young men.
Mhm. This fight is just days away. It's August 14th, this Saturday coming at the Worcester Palladium. Um, First of all, just now, how excited are you to come back to Worcester? And let's talk about some of the mentality and mindset that you have going into this fight in just a couple of days.
I'm pretty excited. I just want to perform. You know what I mean? We already did all the work. We're already so like it's just a matter of time. But yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Um, in Worcester, there's a lot of local boxing history. Who are some boxers that you've looked up to over the years, either in Worcester or just in general?
Honestly, I really look up to like because I think high. You know what I mean? I look up to like I watch like Muhammad and like all the all-time greats. You know what I mean? I mean, there is some fighters that, like from Lawrence and whatnot that have made it like pretty far and stuff, and like I think that's a good thing. But I look up to like Muhammad Ali, like Sugar Ray Leonard. That's who I really look up to.
Marvin Hagler, the best that came out of Massachusetts was Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, I forget he was from Massachusetts too.
That came out of Massachusetts was Marvin Hagler.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people would forget that he's from Massachusetts if they don't know boxing. Yeah. So that's not a name you hear thrown around too much, but from Massachusetts. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot he was from
What
Massachusetts.
has it been like training down there in Boca Raton for you? Just now?
Pretty good. It's like different. Like
What has it been like being training down there in Boca Raton, Florida?
I don't know if you know, but it's like lagging a little bit. I don't know what's going on, but
I think I can hear lagging on your side. Yeah.
you can hear me?
You're coming in and out. Yeah. Do you have like some headphones while if you have some headphones,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I'll put on headphones.
That's what I'm being told.
Josh
Chuck,
Nail is also going to is doing physical training. I think Josh Nail is also going to he's doing physical training and with Phil DeRue, strength and conditioning, who is a very high level, world renowned strength and training condition down here in Boca Raton, and that definitely is going to help him in his career also.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Chuck, what does it take to get a fighter to this level? Yes, much better. Chuck, what does it take to get a fighter to this level and promote them as hard as you promote them?
Well, I think with somebody like Josh Neal, he's put in the work to get himself to where he is now through his amateur career. He was a good amateur. He had about 50 amateur fights. The credit goes to him. So when I was introduced to him, I just said, okay, well, let's get to know each other a little bit. let him get to know my wife and my daughters some, and then see if we wanted to work together from there. But again, it's what he's done in his career to this point that's allowed somebody like my family to want to get involved with him, for Derek to want to take him on as a trainer. This is all work that Jay's done over the past however many years.
Mm-hmm. And what message do you have for your opponent?
What message do I have for my opponent?
Yeah.
Show up.
He just gotta be ready. He just gotta be ready.
And Derek, what do you have to say to his opponent?
Listen, my guys have never been much of a trash talker. I just have confidence in the training that we do. It's been fairly successful. If you look at the fighters that I've been fortunate enough to work with, the talents, they've applied the instructions, and our winning percentage is pretty high. At the end of the day, it's all part of their talent and part of applying the instructions. I say thank you to him for accepting the fight, first of all, because there has to be two sides to create a fight. And, I wish him the best in his career, just not on the night that he's fighting our guy.
Chuck, what's at stake for a fighter like Just Now going into a fight like this?
Well, especially for this one here, it's he's just got to look good. This is a big show. There's going to be well over 1,000 people there. I'm touting him pretty loudly in Worcester, as you know. Yeah, he just needs to look as good as he is. As long as he looks as good as he is. He's also going to be very busy. He's got 3 more fights planned after this in the next 45 days. So he's going to be a busy fighter.
Yeah.
We definitely
So he has 3
appreciate
more
Chuck.
fights next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that, a fighter, a young fighter, who's in the developmental stages, you need to have patience, but you need to keep them busy, and that's how they develop. And without Chuck's support, that's we wouldn't have that right at the moment. So that's essential. I'd like to thank him personally on here.
Yeah, well, that's why we're a team.
And a team is what makes a successful fighter. And we've seen that in history with other fighters. So,
Right.
How did this team come to form?
Like I kind of said earlier, when Josh Neal was training in Worcester for a little while, excuse me, I think he had 1 pro fight at the time. And Kendrick Ball, who you know from Camp Get Right, introduced us and maybe we want to work together. Jay and I agreed, let's get to know each other a little bit. He got to know my wife Karen, my daughters Kayla and Olivia. We worked together on 1 fight up in New Hampshire at the end of last year. Then when he decided to relocate to Florida, it was really luck and by chance, honestly, that he went into Derek's gym. And from a manager standpoint, I just kind of picked up on something there right away. Justin was literally excited about what he was learning and what he was getting better at, and so on and so forth. And he continues to enjoy that. And any fighter, in my opinion, that keeps that mindset throughout their career, there's no ceiling to somebody like that truly enjoys learning and getting better. And Derek's a teacher. And if Jay is somebody that likes to learn and is going to continue to like to learn, there might not be a ceiling.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a former fighter of mine who actually mentioned him and said, "Hey, I spoke to a kid and I sent him your way, but then I didn't hear or see Dasnell for about 2 weeks." And I didn't think nothing of it. I just said, I had a former champion fighter of mine who told me about him, and I said, yeah, just send him. But sometimes guys come and they're not the right fit. They don't have the right team, or I don't see something I like. And then, like I said, he walked in a couple of days, trained. He was gone for a couple of days, and he came back, and then I started seeing what I liked, and here we are.
Nice. Just now, before we end, what is the message you have for your fans?
My message is just like show up, and you ain't gonna regret it. That's all I got to say.
Right. Um,
Thank you to all the people in Worcester who come out
working
and
with
support Team Castro.
Indeed. Um, Chuck, maybe you can answer this question, and just Neil, maybe all three of you can. Jose Rivera is a well-known fighter in Worcester, a champion fighter. Um, his promotion company is in your promotion company, Chuck. Can we talk about for a minute Jose Rivera and what does it mean to be fighting on his card?
Yeah, I'll answer first, I guess. First off, thank you to Rivera Promotions, Jose and AJ, for allowing Jay to be on the show.
Chuck.
Takes takes a lot of work to put these shows on, and yeah. First off, thanks for having him on. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night of boxing. Takes a lot of work to put these shows on, and yeah. First off, thanks for having him on. It's going to be a great night. For Jose himself, it's funny because Justin had lunch with myself and Jose, I don't know, maybe about 6 months ago. Because I just wanted Jose to meet him, and they come from very, very similar backgrounds. So I think even at that time, Jose was able to give Jay some pretty good advice over lunch, and they'll probably be together again sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. Just before we again, we asked fans and people on this daily news one question that they get to ask people when we do an interview, and the question that was posed is the same question to all the fighters that we've been interviewing. What message do you have for kids in the city, for your sake, for you in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and in Boca Raton, Florida, that may look up to you or may want to box one day? What advice do you have for them?
My advice is just to keep pushing. I mean, life is hard, but like you gotta keep pushing. You gotta try your best, and just follow your dreams. That's what I mean.
So, Chuck, 3 fights in the next 45 days?
Yeah, so Jay will be fighting the 14th of August, of course, in Worcester. Then he'll be fighting the 28th in New Hampshire. Excuse me. October 16th in Framingham, Mass. And then November 6th in Portland, Maine.
Nice. How do you feel? How do you prepare for that? That's great. You're excited to come back home to Massachusetts?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, Massachusetts is just like where I grew up, so I'm so used to it. And then I
Yeah.
got like fans there. I don't really have fans here yet, which I hope in the future that will happen. But in the meantime, all my fans, my family, they can come support me in like New England for right now. but
All right.
I'm pretty excited. Like I like the fact that I'm gonna be busy now.
Let's talk about your past fights for a minute. I mean, 3 KOs. Going into the next fights, what's at stake for you? I know I asked Chuck this question, but out of you, what is at stake for you? What does this mean?
I mean, it means a lot. But by the way, I'm like 3-0 and 2 KOs.
Yeah, 2 KOs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to correct it. But
In
yeah, I
boxing,
mean,
it's something you have to get correct. Yeah.
yeah, it means a lot. I mean, I just want to keep winning. You know what I mean? With the right team, like with Derek and Chuck, also Daru, like they're getting me really strong. You know what I mean? Like at first, I didn't like Daru's strength training. At
Hmm.
first, I didn't really like get it, but like now, like I start to feel it. You know what I mean? I see the results. Like my legs are getting stronger. My upper body is getting everything is getting stronger. And then with Derek like teaching me all the technical skills and shit, and still like, but yeah, pretty much. And then Chuck obviously is supporting me here. Hello?
Nice. Yep. So one thing I usually ask people when I have them on the show, when I'm interviewing them, is what is the motto that they live by? If the three of you can answer that, that'd be great. We'll start with Chuck.
You said a motto that I live by?
Yeah.
Geez, I'm not sure that I have one,
What
but
is like a
geez, I don't really know.
or a
Do right
famous
by
quote you
people, I
live by?
guess. Do try to live my life that way.
Mm-hmm. And Derek.
Yeah, I definitely have one. And mine is this: the difference between something and something special is in the details.
I like
That's
that. Just now.
everywhere I go in life.
I just live life to the fullest and just pretty much just do my best in whatever I try. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And until next time, I just have to say thank you to you three for coming on again. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing you Saturday night at the Worcester Palladium. If you have not yet and you're watching, please be sure to check out the Worcester Palladium's website. And New England's Future 7 is this Saturday, August 7th, 6 p.m. Doors open. Tickets, I believe, are still available. Chuck, am I right?
Yes, general admission, I believe, is still available.
Okay. So there you heard it. Come out and support your local fighters, New England fighters. There's no reason if you want to support local businesses, this is where you can do it because you're not supporting just local businesses, but you're supporting the future of boxing. There's a lot of great fights. Chuck, we can talk just for a minute. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can. Who else is on the card?
Sure. I think what's probably going to be the best fight of the night will be Wilfredo Pagan versus Carlos Morero, who are two New England guys that are actually stepping up and fighting each other, which I say it over and over again. It's something that needs to happen more in New England. And then there's a couple of other good fights on the card. I think Josh Nail's fight, I think, is going to be one of the higher skill level fights, I think, that you'll see on the card in
Ooh, I'm
terms of the
losing it.
skill level of the two fighters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, just now, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to
Uh,
see everybody in Worcester come out and support this fighter and every other fighter that is on the big fight on Saturday night. Until next time. next time, gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming
All right,
on,
thank you.
and I look forward to seeing y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.